Hello, Carinites. Good day and welcome back to class. Look at what we'll be making today. We'll be making this beautiful. See, we are making something different. Look at that waistband, very pretty. So, we'll be making something beautiful today. A matching pant for our jackets that we dropped. Our double-breasted jacket that we dropped last week. So, we'll be making a matching pants. Look at that, the highlight of the pattern, very soft and beautiful. So I'll be showing you how to go about this and how to customize this. Remember, if you're making this for the baby boys, you might not need to add this, but if you want to add this, it's totally allowed. And yeah, I forgot to mention, for the waistband, when you are making yours, if you're adding elastic like mine, you just need to take away 4 inches from your original hip round measurement. So that will be the length of the waistband you are going to make. I hope that makes sense. So let me take you through the materials you'll be needing to make this pant, then we just get started. So for the materials, we'll be needing a ball of yarns. I'll be using a and I'll be working with 2 strands. If you have a medium weight yarn, you can totally work with it. So I'll be using, this is 100% acrylic. You can work with cotton, you can work with any kind of yarn you have available or that you wish to use. So this is 100% acrylic and it's pretty thin, as you can see. I'll be working with 2 strands and I'll be working with 2 different sizes of hook. For the waistband, as you can see what we have here, for the waistband, I'll be working with just a single strand, and the hook size I'll be using for that is size 2.5 mm hook. That's for the waistband. But for the body of the pants, for the remaining part of the pant, I'll be using size 4.0 mm hook. So if I'm doubling my strand, I'll work with the 4 mm hook. But if I'm working with the single strand, which is just for the waistband, I'll be working with my 2.0 mm hook. And here is it. If another thing I'll be using is elastic. Okay, so the reason I worked with single strand is to work this elastic part before adding our elastic, because if I use double strand, it's going to be too bulky, too thick, which I don't want because I'm folding it over. So that's why I worked with a single strand. So put that in mind. Like I said earlier, if you are using the same method I used for your pants, remember to take away 4 inches, because I forgot to mention in the video. Remember to take away 4 inches from your hip round measurements. So that will be the length of this waistband that you're going to make. So you'll be needing elastic. This is around 1 inch wide, so you'll be needing that. You'll be needing measuring tape, very important. You'll be needing stitch markers. You'll be needing 4 yarn. It's quite optional. If you don't want to add it, it's totally fine. You'll be needing tapestry needle to weave in our hands, and also you'll be needing a normal needle and thread. We'll be using that to sew our elastic. That is if you are using it. We just, after cutting out the length we want, we sew the 2 ends together. So that's basically what we need it for. And after that, we'll be needing a pair of scissors as well. So that being said, these are the materials we'll be needing in the course of this tutorial. So let's jump right into it. So to kickstart our waistband, I'll be using elastic band, like I said earlier. So in case you don't have elastic band, it's all fine. You're going to start with your 2 strands. Make a chain that is the length of your, what's it called now? That is length of your hip round. Then you go ahead, work front post, back post. You work a double crochet round first, then you work front post and back post rounds for like 3 or 4 rounds, depending on how thick you want your waistband is. When you get that, then you can continue with the body parts. For me, it's going to be something else different. So I'll be starting with 1 strand. Then after that, I'm going to switch to double. And as you can see, I'm using a smaller hook for the waistband. I'm using 2.5 mm hook. So with my single strand, I'll make a knot, a slip knot. And after that, I will go ahead and chain 21. 1, 2, 3. So I'll go ahead and complete 21 chains. So I have 21 chains and it measures around 3 inches, a little above 3 inches. So the thing is this, the elastic band I want to use, the thickness is around 1 inch. It's around 1 inch thick or wide. So I'm going to make my waistband is going to be around 2 inches wide, because we are going to be folding it over, so we can put what's it called now? We can put our elastic band inside. Don't worry, you get it as we proceed. So I'll skip the first chain. Moving into the second, we are working with half double crochet stitch. So I'll yarn over. I'll go into my second chain. This is the first chain, we are skipping that. So I'll move to the second chain and work a half double crochet. I'll yarn over. I'll move to the next chain, which is this. Work a half double crochet. I'll yarn over. I'll move to the next. I'll work a half double crochet. So we'll go ahead and work one half double crochet into each and every of our stitches. When I get to the end, I will come and show you what next to do. So I have 20 half double crochets in total, and this is what it looks like. So moving on to the next, remember we are working the waistband. So I'll chain one and turn. Then we are going to be working in the back loop only. Let me show you that quickly. Whenever you are going through your stitches, you'll go through two loops, as you can see. But for the ribbon, the waistband we are making, we'll be working in the back loop only. The loops at the back. We have one in front of us, it's called the front loop, while the one at the back is called the back loop. So we'll be working in the one at the back only. So after chaining one, I'll yarn over and I'll go into the loop at the back, right there, work my half double crochet. I'll yarn over, I'm gonna go to the next, pull out a loop, work half double crochet. I'll yarn over, go into the next, pull out a loop, work half double crochet. So I'll go ahead and repeat this until I get to the end. So I've come to the end of the row. So my last stitch will be right here. Make sure you count your stitches so that you don't end up not completing your stitches. If not, your waistband will keep getting smaller. So this is what I have at the end of the second row. So moving to the third, I'll chain one and turn, and I'll yarn over. Remember, we will always work in the back loop only. So I'll move right here, the back loop, work my first half double crochet, I'll yarn over, I'll move to the next, half double crochet, I'll move to the next, half double crochet. So we'll go ahead, this is just the repetition. Go ahead, keep working half double crochet. So I'll keep going back and forth. The hip round measurements for the size I'm making, which is size 12 to 18 months, is I'm working with 23 inches. So I will go ahead and keep repeating this until I have about 18 inches. Remember, this is stretchy, so I'll keep repeating until I have about 18 inches. For 6 to 12 months, I'll suggest you keep going until you have about 16 inches, 16 to 16 and a half, max 17 inches. For 0 to 6 months, I'll suggest 15 inches. This stretches a lot. So like I said, this stretches a lot, so make sure you don't do too much rows so that you don't end up having a very what's it called now, too long. It's going to be too long and it's not going to fit. I want something fitted. I want to avoid drawstring. Drawstring is not bad, don't get me wrong. I just want to do something different, so I don't want to use drawstring. So that's why I'm using a elastic band. So I will go ahead and keep going until I have about 18 inches. So when I have that done, I'll come and show you what to do next. So here is my waistband. I did 62 rows in total, and that gives me my 18 inches, as you can see. So I have my 62 rows. So here's what we are going to do. We are going to join these two ends together. I'll work my last stitch again. So we are going to join this together like this. So I'll come right here. So I'll enter the first stitch here. I'll pick my loop, pass it through. I'll chain one. Then we are going to join with slip stitch. So I'll pick the back loop. I'll work my slip stitches. One. I'll go into the next. And I'll go into the next stitch. This is the back loop. Then I'll work my slip stitch. That's two. Go into the next. I'll pick the next back loop, which is this. I'll work my slip stitch. I'll pick the next stitch. I'll pick the next back loop. I'll work my slip stitch. So I'll go ahead and repeat this until I have this completely joined. So I've joined everything. As you can see, I've not fastened off. So I'm going to set this aside. Then I'll grab my elastic band. And you can decide to use a smaller elastic band. That means if you are using a smaller elastic band, then your waistband will not be this wide. So I'm going to Remember, this is 18 inches, right? So I'm going to measure this. I'm going to measure out around 17 inches. I don't want it to be too small, so that it will not be too tight around the waist. So 17 inches. I'm going to cut that out, and for that I'm going to grab a needle and thread, and I'm going to sew this up like this. I prefer using needle and thread because if you use gum, it might open up. So I want it to. So I'm going to use my needle and thread for a safer option. If it's glue that you have, you can go ahead and use it. But like I said earlier, the needle and thread is safer and your elastic band will not come off. So I'm going to put this, as you can see, and I will see. I'm using a normal needle and I'm using my yarn as my thread. You can use a normal needle and thread. This is what I have available right here. So I will go ahead and sew like this, like a square or a rectangle. So I'm going to, so that I can secure it very well. So when I have this done, I'll come and show you what next to do. So this is what I have after sewing. Look at that. Okay, yeah, so this is what I have. So right now we are going to join, but the only thing that will be different is this: we are going to be switching to our normal hook, which is 4.0 mm, and also I'll be switching to my double strand. Remember, we were working with single strand. So this is what we are going to do. You see this, our waistband, we are going to divide that into two like this. This is what we want to achieve, just like that. So we are going to be working single crochet across like this, and we are going to put our waistband as well. So just like that. So to start working our single crochet, I'll go right here. This is my first row of double crochet where I did my joining, and also this is where I did my joining right here at the back. So I want to add one more strand, so just grab the two and chain one. So I have my two strands. So you see this half double crochet row, this half double crochet row. So between these two half double crochet row, we have to work 3 single crochets. So I'll go back into that same row. This is at the back. Go back into that same row and work my first single crochet. That's one. Then you see this space in between. I'll go right in. I'll go inside, and also at the back to be very sure. The space in between. This is it. I'll grab my yarn. I'll work a single crochet. That's 2. So this is the next row. I'll go right in, and also the next row at the back, which is this. That's 3. Between these 2 rows, we have to work 3 single crochets. So this is the next row here, and also the next row at the back, which is this. I'll work my first single crochet. Then the next is this ridge in between. I'll go right in between it, and also at the back, that's the ridge. I'll work my second single crochet and the second row of my single crochet, and this is the second row at the back. So that's 3. So that's what we keep doing. We go ahead and repeat this 3 single crochets in between 2 rows. So when I have this done completely, I will come and show you what next to do. So this is what I have after joining. Look at our band. So my total stitch here is 93, but I need an even number, so I will go ahead and add one more stitch right here at the end. So I will have 94 stitches in total. If you have an even number already, then you don't need to make an extra stitch. Just make sure that you have an even number. So this is what we have. So right now we start working on our pants. So to kickstart, I'm going to start with chain 1, and we are going to turn. So this is our first stitch. This is a slip stitch, so we are not working inside. This is the first stitch. So we're going with a single crochet, then into that same stitch we had a double crochet. I hope you remember our Suzette stitch. So after that, you skip the next stitch, you move to the next, you work a single crochet and a double crochet. You skip the next stitch into the following one, you work a single crochet and a double crochet. You skip the next, you move to the next, a single crochet and a double crochet. You skip the next, you move to the next. So this is what we are going to repeat. We go ahead and repeat this. When I get to the end, I'll come and show you how to finish. So I'm right here at the end of the round. I've worked my single crochet and double crochet. This is my last stitch right here. This should be this is my last stitch here. So I'm going to skip that. Remember that we skip one stitch. So I'm going to skip the last stitch and I'm going to slip stitch into my very first stitch, which is my single crochet. So we finished our round. So moving to the next round, we chain one as usual and turn. So a quick one. After working my last double crochet, you see this last stitch here, right here, I'm going to work a single crochet inside. That will be my last stitch. Then I'll go ahead and slip stitch into my very first stitch, which is the single crochet. So you start with a single crochet, finish with a single crochet. So I think it's best our stitches is it's best we have an odd number instead of even number, so that will help correct that. But in case you have an even number like mine, so you can just rectify it with that. Into your last stitch, instead of skipping it, you work a single crochet, just one single crochet inside. Then you chain one and turn for the next row. So we always have our single crochet here. So this is my single crochet. I will go right in, I'll work a single crochet and a double crochet. I'll skip the next stitch, I'll move to the next single crochet, work a single crochet and a double crochet. You skip the next double crochet stitch, you move to the single crochet stitch, you work a single and a double. You skip the next stitch, you move to the next one, single, double. I'll go ahead and keep repeating this. When I get to the end, I'll come and show you how to finish the round. So this is what I have. I'm almost at the end of my third round. Our first round is the single crochet. We did this and this is the third. So after working my double crochet, I'll skip the double crochet stitch and here into the single crochet. That's where I'm going to work my last stitch, which is going to be just a single crochet. And you go right into your first stitch, which is a single crochet, and slip stitch. So that marks the end of the second round. So we chain one and return again into the single crochet stitch, which is this. You go right in, you work a single crochet and a double crochet. You skip the next stitch, which is this, then you move to the next, you work a single crochet and a double crochet. You skip the next stitch, then you move to the next one, single crochet, double crochet. So I believe we've understood how the pattern works. So we are going to keep repeating this pattern, our Suzette pattern. That's what we keep repeating. For the size I'm making, size 12 to 18 months, keep repeating until our total this thing is around 5 inches. Yeah, and for 0 to 6 months, you keep repeating until you have around 4 inches. 6 to 12 months until you have 4.5 inches. As for me, I'll keep going until I have 5 inches. For 3 to 5 years, you keep going until you have around 3.5 5.5, sorry. If the toddler is quite big, then you can consider 6 inches. So we keep going until I have my 5 inches. When I have my 5 inches completed, we'll come and split the legs. So I have my 5 inches. As you can see, I have my 5 inches done right there. So right now you're going to split the legs. You're going to count the total number of stitches you have. As for me, I have 95 stitches. So your total number of stitches is actually going to be an odd number. So you're going to divide it by 2. You're going to have more stitch on one leg and less stitch on the other leg. So I counted from here Okay, I did a total of, for this our pattern stitch, I did a total of 12 rounds with a single crochet round, making 13 rounds in total after my waistband. So I counted like this all the way to this place. I have 47, and from this point back to the back I have 48. So I have 47 and 48. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to, after slip stitching, I'm going to chain one. Now fasten off. So because if I go ahead and start working my leg, the back, the seam line is going to be in the front, and I don't want that. So I'm going to turn like this. So the leg we are working first, we are going to be working the leg with more stitch, the one that is one stitch more than the other leg. I have 47 here, I have 48 here, so I'm doing the one with 48. That's what I'm doing. That's the one I'm doing first. So we go ahead and make a slip knot, and this is the next stitch where I'm going to start my hook right here. As you can see, it's a double crochet row. So this is it. If the very point where you are dividing is a double crochet row, you make sure that your chain, the number of chains you're going to be making for the crotch is a odd number. But if the point of your division where you're going to work is single crochet, make sure that your chain is an even number. I hope that makes sense. It's actually not a must, it's not a necessity. You can easily adjust your working between, but just giving you heads up. So this is a double crochet. I'm going to join my yarn, and I'm going to make a chain that is about 2.5 inches long. 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 inches. I said 3 inches. I have my 2.5 inches, and I did a total of 11 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 chains, which is a odd number. So for 0 to 12 months, okay, for 0 to 12 months, make sure your chain is around 2 inches. For 12 to 24 months, that's 2 years, make sure it's around 2.5 inches. Unless you want a wider legs, then you can add more inches. For 3 to 5 years old, you can work around 3 inches for the crotch. So I will go ahead right here at the back. Okay, I'm going to turn like this right here, right into this spot. I'm going to make a slip stitch. So as you can see, my last round here is on the right side, so I will chain one and turn. We are working like this now. So starting from my first chain, remember I did 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 right there. So right into that very first stitch, I'm going to work a single crochet, a single crochet, and I'll go back into that same spot and work a double crochet. I'll skip the next chain and move to the next single crochet, double crochet. I'll skip the next chain, I'll move to the next single, double. I'll skip this, I'll move to the next single, double. I'll skip the next, I'll move to the next one, single crochet, double crochet. I'll skip the next and I'll work here to my 11th chain. I'll work a single and a double. So the next stitch where we connected our chain is a double crochet, so we are skipping that. So if yours is a single crochet, you are going to have one extra chain here. You're going to skip that chain, then walk into this very same spot. But as for me, it's a double crochet, and I don't have any extra chain here, so I'm skipping that double crochet and I'm moving to my single crochet. So we are doing this just to make sure that we don't mess up our pattern. We still have our pattern intact. So I'm skipping the double crochet and I'll move to the single crochet and continue my pattern. Single, then double, single, then double. So I'll just go ahead and keep repeating until I get to the end. I'll come and show you how to finish and start the next round. So I'm right here, almost at the end. So after working my single double, this is the very last stitch here. Remember, we'll finish with just a single crochet. After that, I'll go ahead and slip stitch into my very first single crochet on the line right here. Slip stitch, chain one, and turn. So this is our last single crochet. Remember, we are always going to start with a single crochet and a double crochet. Single, then double. So it's just the same way we've been working our pattern. So we just go ahead and keep repeating single double, single double. I'll work a few number of rounds for the first leg, then I will come and show you how to work the second leg. Then we go ahead and work and continue working the pants until we are almost at our desired length, because remember we are adding our 4 yarn, so we keep going until we have about 1 or 1.5 inches before we get to your desired length. So that's why we'll be adding our 4 yarn. So I want to show you quickly how to start the second leg. So I'm going to join my yarn here at the back. This is the this is the first stitch here, this single crochet stitch. So I'll go right inside. As you can see, my last round was on the right side, so my next round will be inside. So I'm going to make a slip knot, and I will go right inside, pull my yarn through, chain one, then into that same stitch I'm going to work a single crochet and a double crochet, single, then a double. Then I'll start working my pattern. I'll skip the next stitch, I'll move to the next single crochet, I'll work a single crochet and a double crochet. I'll skip the next, I'll move to the next single crochet, I'll work a single and a double. So I will go ahead, I'll keep going until I get here my stitch marker. I'll come and show you how we are going to work here. So I am right here where I marked. So it's a single crochet. So I'll go right into that single crochet. I'll work my single crochet, double crochet. Then I will jump right here to where we have our stitches around the crotch. So I'll go right in here. So where we have our stitch here, I will go in and repeat the same thing: single, then double, single, double, just the same thing we did on the other leg: single, double, single, double crochet, single, double crochet, single, double crochet. And if you can remember, if you don't forget, we have this leg is 1 stitch more than this, so we want to balance that. So you see around here, right here, I'm going to work a single crochet there. Remember, we have to finish with a single crochet, so I'll work a single crochet there. So we just balanced the legs, so now we have the same stitch count. So we created an extra stitch here, which is a single crochet. Then I'll go ahead and slip stitch. So I'll chain one, turn, and start working my pattern: single crochet, double crochet. So it's just a repetition of what we've been doing: single, double, single, double. When I get to the end right here, the single crochet right here, I'll work a single double, and into my very last stitch here, I will just work 1 single crochet. I'll slip stitch here, chain one, and turn, and keep repeating my pattern. So I will keep going until I have about The full length I want is 17 inches. I want a full length. So I'm going to be leaving some size chart on the screen. So I will keep repeating until I have around 15.5 or 16 inches. So I have my pants here. As you can see, I finished one leg and I've added my 4 yarn. This is what it looks like. So I'll be working the second leg with you from the top right here. From the top where we started the pattern, not the single crochet row, where we started the pattern to this place, I did a total of 48 rows. If I had the single crochet row, that would make it 49. So right now we are going to be working, we have 1 inch left to complete our total length. So that's where our 4 yarn comes in. And if you don't have 4 yarn, you can just finish with single crochet in all your stitches. Sorry, my lighting is kind of fluctuating. So my final, to make my slip stitch, so I'll go right in. I'll grab my 4 yarn. I made a slip knot, so I'll be using this one to make a slip stitch. Then I'll go ahead, I'll chain 1. So I'm going to make a knot. Just like that, and I'll fasten off my this yarn because I'm not needing it again. So right now, to start working our single crochet, we'll be working single crochet round. So to start working, we are going to be working in the front loops only. Let me show you that quickly. Whenever we go into our stitches, we actually go through 2 loops. As you can see, we have one in front of us, it's called the front loop, while the one at the back, this right here, is called the back loop. But for this row or this round, we are going to be working in the front loop only, the one right in front of us. So that's the loop we are working into. So, and I'll be hiding this end along as I work. So we are working single crochet. So here's my first stitch. I'm going to pick the front loop, as you can see, and I'll work my first single crochet. Make sure it's not tight, just work, do your single crochet loosely. So I'll go, this is the next stitch. I'll pick the front loop right here, and I'll work my single crochet. Make sure you're doing this on the right side. So the next, you pick the front loop. We are picking the front loop only, front loop only. So I'll pick the next, pick the front loop, I'll work my single crochet. Next, I'll pick the front loop, I'll work my single crochet. So that's what we are going to be repeating all through. Front loop, you work your single crochet. Front loop, you work your single crochet. So I will go ahead and repeat this until I get to the very end. So I am right here at the end of the round. So I will go ahead and slip stitch into the very first single crochet. And we just finished our first round. So we are going to repeat this 2 more times. You can decide to add more, but I think the less the better. So I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to start working my second round. So you're just going to be using your hand to trace out these stitches, because as you can see, the stitches are not that visible. So you're just going to use your fingers to trace it out, and of course your discernment. So you should know that your next stitch will be right after it, so you just use that to pick where your next stitch is. So I'll just go ahead and work this. When I'm done, I'll slip stitch and go 1 more round. So I'll be having 3 rows of this in total. And after that, I will go ahead and weave in my hands, and I will come and show you what my finished pants looks like. So I have my pants ready, and this is what it looks like. Look at that beauty. As you can see, the pattern is very, very pretty. I love the fact that it's a textured pattern. It's giving it this luxury vibe. And here is the jacket. This is what it looks like. And yeah, I'll be leaving the link to this jacket at the end screen, so you can just click on it to watch if you're interested. So this marks the end of this set. I hope you find the video useful. Please, if you do, kindly give it a thumbs up, drop a comment, and the next tutorial we will be making a dress, a version of this. We're making the dress version of this jacket. So I believe you can't wait to see it, so stay tuned. click the subscribe button, join the family, and kindly subscribe to my membership plan if you like to support. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Bye.